see a slew of applications coming in from Department of Education. As far as refunds, number of cases completed from October to May 31 is 485. Of the 485, 328 non-vested regular members. We paid out $4.9 million. Net benefits, the same period, we completed 42 for a total of $1.4 million. As far as life certificates, remains the same. We submitted 96, we sent out 96 life certificates validations. We received 80, 9 was suspended, waiting response from the retiree, and 7 were pending receipt of documents, meaning that one of the documents or a couple of pieces of documents were not submitted. As far as non-duty disability, it's the same from last period. We, as of June 15, 2020, our payroll retirees 8,701. We added to the payroll from October through June 15, 252 retirees. We deleted same period 236. The gross payroll as of 6/15 was $10.7 million. Our loan portfolio is being reduced each month. We have 3,414 units as of 5/31/2020. As the personal loans, mortgages still constantly at 91. The total amount for the entire portfolio for the same period is $41.6 million. As you know, the personal loans all would expire around 2024, 2025. As far as operation, the St. Croix building, we are waiting another proposal for the landscaping and gardening. Every year we have someone come in and do the landscaping and the gardening services for us. We're waiting for one more proposal. As far as the building, the roof repair is still pending the travel plans of the contractor from the States. Delays due to the COVID-19 situation. And the hurricane shutters for the Casino Commission front doors were ordered. As far as the generator, you know, it's hurricane season. It has been maintained. It's in normal operations. The air condition quarterly maintenance was completed. Also, there were 2 minor issues occurred and were rectified. Project, the trash dumpster, if you see it, I do have pictures, but it has really improved the aesthetic of the surroundings. It was widened, and also they have gates, and it's painted nicely. I want to thank Mr. Dempson and Ms. Glendinning for getting that done. The security guard building renovations proposal were received, and the contractor selected Brothers Construction Inc. Also, the glass door replacements for security purposes, active shooter protection. This was a recommendation by, I think, by Tima to us that we have this in case we do have an active shooter in the building. Training was conducted with the employees. As far as the St. Thomas complex, we are about 98% completed. The building looks very well. It's been going on for now close to about a year with the repairs. The roof project is another, the other project that is major project that is online. So we are going to be submitting. I approved the RFP yesterday, and it will be posted in the newspapers for 2 weeks. The AC project is another project. They have started the foundation. I know that there's a large trailer on the premises, so they're gearing up to also getting that project done in a timely manner, barring any unforeseen circumstances like a hurricane. On the estate Nollyburg Hoffman property, the survey was completed. Plans were received from the Iridian Design. Will be seeking 3 quotes to bid on the drawing for the fencing of the wall. Also, McCloskey, the surveyor, came over last week, and I know that Mr. Barros and him went over to that property. He got his drone and everything, so he's going to be completing that survey, that appraisal, I'm sorry, shortly. He should have gone over to St. Croix. I didn't get any report from Mr. Dempster, but the 2 properties, and one in St. Croix at Estate Coakley Bay, will be reappraised. As you know, we have safety precautions in place in regards to the disinfecting and sanitizing. We received 3 quotes, and that is going to be done in short order before the employees come back to work. Security station in the main lobby, the plexiglass was done. The air conditioner service provider had been changing filters, and supplies, we are ordering supplies, the tissues, wipes, disinfectant spray have been ordered for the staff. Since they're coming in more than one day during the week, we want to take as much precautions as possible. As far as collections for the utilities, we have collected for May $82,849.12. Total year to date, we received $509,894.35 for rental, and electrical reimbursements $415,000.82 for total collections of the utilities $924,995.17. Arrearages, largest is in electricity. Obviously, some of the arrearages, well, this couldn't be anyway, the arrearages, the rental is $83,107.72, and the electrical is $105,661.61. As you can see from Exhibit A, the arrearages are mostly in the Department of Justice. We did defer Division of Personnel. Justice has not asked for any deferments. And also from the schedule, you can see the decisions made in the last board meeting by the board in regards to Pleasant and Division of Personnel. We continue to work with FEMA and by FEMA on a regular basis. Meetings are held. My representative at those meetings are Ms. Glendinning, and she usually report to me if there are any issues. The retiree election is coming up. The vendor that was selected is Election America Inc. out in Neola, New York. As you know, we have had experience with 2 retiree elections before. Voting method options: a paper ballot, interactive voice response, which is like telephone, and then online voting. We had experience with paper ballot and online voting in the last election. The cost, as high as $8,955 for the both districts, and as low as $5,471. Low, when it says low, is if one district maybe don't have an election, so it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be higher if you have 2 elections, and that would be $8,955. There's no election in the district, which have happened before. As low as $5,471. The timeline is from October 5th through January 18, and October 5th we will announce the notice of the election, and nomination packages will be available at both districts. Not sure yet. I'll have to discuss with Ms. Glendinning if we're going to do it.
Yes.
Yes.
One question. I'm taking issue with the time period where the announcement and the nomination packets are required back. It's less than a month. That's a fairly short period of time to become alert and make a decision and evaluate with the situation and what you're getting into. I would prefer that being opened up a little bit more, maybe back to September 1st.
We never had any problems before.
It just seemed a very short period of time.
Yeah. We may look at it again, but if you have candidates who are really interested, we can start hyping it up and talking about it prior to that. Maybe what I can do is move back the notice date somewhat. Instead of the
I'd
5th,
appreciate that.
Yeah, we look at it, can move it back from the 5th a little earlier, so you'll have more time, for members to make up their minds, retirees. Okay, I that's noted. I don't have any problem with that. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Then on the 26th, we'll begin the candidate vetting process, reviewing nomination packages. Now, internally, we select 2 committees, both district. They're members of the staff. We use members of the staff, usually individuals, a cross section of the staff, and they did a beautiful job in both elections. They're the nominating committee in both districts, and then there's an overseeing committee, meaning that those individuals will check back on the documents that are submitted by the candidates. And we have never had a problem before. Only one problem we had was in St. Croix, and there was some question in the St. Thomas district one time, as far as eligibility, educational requirements. So as you can see, it runs, I'll move it back a little, maybe in September for the announcement, and it runs through, the election closes on January 11th, 2021. And we looked at the results, the vendor sent us the results via email, and then we would announce on January 18th. That would give us enough time maybe for the person who's going out, maybe another board meeting, and then at the March board meeting, probably the new person, whoever they are, new persons, would come in and after the orientation would come in and sit in the March meeting. Okay, any questions? Hearing none.
Any questions? Go ahead, Mr. Nibbs.
I sent a copy of the eligibility and the procedures for the election. They were promulgated June 15th, 2010 by the board. I just sent a copy to the board members in the event they had any questions or they want to make any changes to the procedures. Okay. So you can let me know between now and September, but we're gonna start gearing up for the election because we have about 6 months, so we need to have some good lead time to plan. Okay, that ends my report.
Thank you, sir. Trustees, any questions for Mr. Nibbs? None? Sabari? Scoward?
No question for me.
I'm good.
I do have one statement though, Mr. Nibbs, as far as education. What happens is for the date of when they do their letter of resignation, it's normally effective the last day of the school cycle. So effective August 31st is normally the case because September 5th would have been so it's always the last day before the beginning of the new school year. So that's why most of them don't come in they can't put them on, they can't submit them for retirement because they're still going to be on the active payroll until August, whatever that last pay period is.
But I know that they have submitted their letters because I've seen one.
Yeah, letters, and that's what I keep telling them. Most letters have been submitted since April.
Right.
And they do it every year, but they don't send anything down.
Right.
You know, these people are a potential. Some people do change their mind, but most of them, by May, June, they have packed up their classrooms or they've already started their stuff. So you know they're not going to change their minds. There's some who are, if they haven't packed up, then you know they're probably coming back. But if they've packed up and given away everything, you know they're gone. Okay. And you're about to get a lot of separations also. You're getting them, I know you've started to get those. Those have come in. The ones who are resigning rather than retiring. All those teachers who are in their 9th year, they're considering, they had a whole group of them have been submitting conversations and having conversations, submitting. And yeah, because they're coming out.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, to get the news yesterday, the governor of Florida signed $500 million for teacher raises to change the teacher salary scale.
St. Thomas, you said Florida?
Florida.
No, Florida.
I was wondering about GRS. I mean, 500.
They're about to go. So they're about to consider relocating.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have some more separation.
That's a sign of the times.
Florida is not a good place to relocate to at this time, you know.
But it didn't say Miami.
Okay.
That Florida. There's a lot of off peninsula cities and stuff that are not greatly affected by COVID right now.
Okay.
And they were affected by the storms, and they're having the same issues we have about rebuild. But it's gonna be rough.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Committee reports. Committee chair.
Policy committee, we're gonna finalize we bring in the governance manual to the floor today for finalization. So we'll have that discussion in old business.
Okay. Any other committee chair in the report?
Yes, the budget committee met on the 17th, and we had about 4 items on our agenda. We had a mid-year review of the 2020 budget. We had an update on the Wycombe Mall transition and
Haverside. Let's see. Haverside Mall. Not Wycombe Mall.
okay. I stand corrected. The Haverside Mall transition, and we reviewed a budget that was presented and by the staff, and we spent a few minutes talking about Resolution 13, 2020. As far as the mid-year budget review, the staff presented a variance report with actual numbers through April, 7 months. The operating budget seemed in good touch, pretty much on target. The capital budget, however, expenditures was significantly below the budget. We had a budget of $4.7 million for capital outlay, and less than $1 million, or $750,000 expenditure to date. So Mr. Nibbs could talk a little bit about what's going on there. There was no further actions required. The staff didn't require us to make any changes to the budget. We were advised by staff that the FY 2021 budget is in progress and would due to the board within 60 days, or 60 days of the date of that meeting.
60 days prior to the end of the year. By August 1, it will be in 60 days prior to the end of the year.
Okay, August, okay. Thanks, so. The staff didn't, CEO did indicate that the budget will reflect a strategic plan to downsize with a shift towards greater use of technology in the operation. So we're looking forward to that. As far as the Haven Mall transition, the committee received an update on the ongoing repairs and renovations, and as Mr. Nibbs will go over those again, full board. Staff also recommended a budget more to take us through the end of the fiscal year, and the committee voted to support the request. So we will be, and to recommend it to the full board. So, we'll ask at that point that Mr. Nibbs presented and the specifics of that, as was approved by the committee. The focus of that request was on capital projects, as you might expect, since there's not much operations going on there. And the staff is using the downtime to get all the capital infrastructure projects up and running. So the biggest item on the budget was the capital side, most of it to roof replacements. The other big item was other services and charges, mostly for insurance folks. Third item on the agenda was rental deferral abatement program. The staff updated us on the number of requested abatements versus deferral. I think the committee affirmed its position that at least up until now, we'll continue with deferrals and no abatements. And then we gave some further constraints with respect to who could get referrals, specifically that we didn't want to give any referrals to folks who are in arrears in the rental. Last item was Resolution 13/2020, which was the resolution that we submitted to the governor and the president of the legislature as required by the code. That's the resolution where we recommended the adjustment to benefits. That was just a general discussion, basically pointing out that we didn't get any, at least up at that point, we had not seen any response, no official recognition of receipt by either of the addressees to that report. So we want to talk a little bit more about that if you wish. But that concludes our report, Mr. Chair, for the Budget Committee. And at the appropriate time, we will move to recommend the budget for the Havenside Mall as presented by staff at that meeting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Trustees, any question for Trustee Bowery? Any comments? Okay, no, thank you, sir. Any other committee report? Okay, thank you. We now move to the treasurer's report.
Good morning, Board Chair and other trustees. You can hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and
Yes,
clear.
I can hear you.
Okay. This is the Government Employees Retirement System Schedule of Receipts and Disbursements for the month ending May 31st, 2020. Receipts from collections, loan repayment, 1,109,845. Rent from tenants / utilities, 54,439. Rents from Havenside tenants, 60,233. Employer retirement contributions, 8,343,879. Employee retirement contributions, 4,168,128. Parking facility, 120. Miscellaneous, 299,633. For total collections of 14,036,278. Disbursements, annuity payments, 21,623,481. Administrative expenses, 1,270,483. Personal loans, 241. Mortgage loans, 5,584. Retiree loans, auto loans, land loans, they were nothing for the month of May. Year to date, retiree loans, 20,709.96. Auto loans, 12. Refund of contributions, 167,424. Year to date, 6,401,913. Allotments to WICO / management fees, nothing for May. Year to date, 1,378,925. For total disbursements of 23,067,212. Year to date, 194,573,870. For net cash deficits of 9,030,934. Year to date, net cash deficit 71,108,851. That ends the reading of the Treasurer's report.
All right, trustees, any questions, any comments?
I have one question, Chairman. In reference to the retiree loans, auto loans, and land loans that no money came in on, did the board or whoever give a deferment on the loan and extend it forward?
No.
This is not, these are like refunds that you get in. These are not the normal loan payments that we receive. These are like for the insurance we paid out and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Barry?
The number we have at the top of the year to date 2020, negative 62.1 million says beginning balance. What is that? That's the balance of what?
That amount represents the last amount for year to date 2020. So in April of 2020, that's the ending balance, and so it's the beginning balance. Hence, it's underlined. So it's not, you're not totaling it with the others. It's just right in your face, this is what it was last time.
So you add, Mr. Rahman, so then you add the 9 million deficit to that, and that's how you get the 71 million?
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
Ms. Jeremiah?
Correct.
Okay.
Thought you
Oh.
heard. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. Trustees, you understood that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure, Trustee Caldwell, I see you didn't say anything about the rent collected from Havenside. This in the month of May for 2020 versus what was collected in May of 2019. See
No.
see
Yeah.
the difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Sign of the clock.
No, I'm not able this year.
Okay. Any other questions, Trustee? Any other comments? If none, we need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll move to accept the Treasury report.
Second.
Trustee Caldwell,
Yes.
Trustee Bowery,
Not voting.
okay. Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger,
Yes.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith, excused. Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
okay, 4 yes, 1 not voting, 1 absent, 1 excused.
Thank you. Treasurer's report has been accepted. Move to the investment officer's report.
Good morning, Mr. Chair,
Morning,
other
sir.
trustees. This is the performance of the investment fund as of ending May 31st, 2020. The total plan returned 0.9% for the month. Year to date, we're up about 1.8%. Fiscal year to date, we're up about 3.2%. Total equity returned 5.3% for the month and was pretty much in line with its benchmark. Total fixed income was up 0.4%, slightly underperformed its benchmark by 10 basis points. And our total alternatives portfolio was up about 1.1% for the month. As it pertains to the managers' funds, our Russell 1000 index was up 5.3% for the month. Q Capital, which is our fixed income manager, returned 0.6% and outperformed its benchmark by 16 basis points. Our US debt index fund was up 0.5%, and our US TIPS fund was up 0.3%. As it relates to the cash flow update for the month, we ended the month at approximately 560 million. So we started